I've taken some mean green, put it in a spray bottle. I'm not spraying it directly on the rim itself because I don't want any to get into the crevices and end up sitting in there and causing the Plastidip not to really settle. So what I've done is I'm just putting it on a cloth, wiping every little nook and cranny, getting all grease, and especially the rim up here. You want all that grease off that rim. And so you just want to really get that rim real good, get the edges real good. That way it has something to bond to. You just want to get all this grease off as much as possible anyways. Again, mean green's a perfect little product to use. I'm all about the black rims, you know. The great thing about Plastidip is if in the future we decide it's not something we want to keep on here, we can easily take it off. The other thing I'm doing is then I'm following it with a dry rag rather, and just hitting that rim one more time, just making sure all the grease, you see all the extra grease and stuff that's coming off of there. Just want to make sure all that is off. Wiping everything down, trying to get it as clean and smooth as possible, so that the Plastidip has something really strong to bond to. Next thing we're doing is we're going to take, let me readjust just a little bit. We're going to take a bag, and I'm going to open that bag up, rip it down the sides, and now I want to make it clear I'm not a pro at this, but I've watched enough YouTube videos, and thank God for YouTube, and it's worked out so far so good. But you want to just take this bag and work it through its spokes. You don't want any of the brakes, the caliper, anything like that getting this plastic in. All right. So you want to work this bag in as good as possible, making sure to cover your brake pads. And then once you get it in, let me readjust here. You want to make sure you got everything covered. Just kind of pick it up, push it back. Ouch. Don't break your hand in the process. Push everything back. Make sure it's out of the way. So when you spray, you'll be all set. All right, so right now it's set. Let me go get the can and we'll get to spraying. So what I'm doing is I'm putting on a light coat to start with, somewhat of a base coat, and getting all the little areas first, making sure they're all getting, you know, tacky first. Just making sure we're getting all that in those nooks and crannies. This is my wife's truck, and but I'm actually buying her something new in the next week or two, so I'm going to take it over. I just wanted it a little bit more blacked out. Next thing we're going to do is get the edge real good. You want that edge real solid because you want that thing bonding real good on that edge. Then what I do is I go crisscross back and forth, and that way I'm hitting it coming in, going, trying to hit every little nook and cranny I can. Now again, I am not a professional at this. There's a billion videos on YouTube for you to check out with people who know a lot more than I do. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. It's worked out so far, so, but again, we're just gonna keep it going. You want a good, nice base coat. You don't wanna cover it completely. That's not the objective right here, okay? So get that base coat on there. Give it 15-20 minutes, let that dry before you put on the next coat. Now on my driver's side, I've already got, I think, 3 coats. So I'm gonna put 6 coats on it all together to make sure it's on there really well. Looks like my bag's kind of blown off, so I need to find that and I'll put a new bag on there. You really wanna keep those brakes as clean as possible. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. All right, I got my other bag put in place, and again, we're just hitting all those little nooks and crannies. We want all that covered real well. Want it all covered up good. Try not to do what I just did by overspraying it. Then of course, you want to make sure that edge is good. You want that edge solid. And then again, I just crisscross back and forth. I want to make sure every little inch is covered, coming and going. So I think that's coat number 4. Again, we're going to put 6 on it. When I get finished, I'll let you know how it looks. All right, last thing I'm doing is I am putting a glossifier on the wheels. I don't want them a flat black. I want some type of little shine to them. It doesn't have to be major, but just a little bit. So we're gonna do it the same way we did the other ones. We wanna get in all the nooks and crannies. I didn't talk about this earlier, but I will now. Someone suggested taking Vaseline after you've cleaned the wheels and everything like that. Taking Vaseline and putting around your rim, and of course then you want to then degrease it after you do it, because you don't want it on the rim. It'll keep the Plastidip from sticking. But the whole reason you do it is, you see this, how it's starting to bubble. That's what you want when you're because when you go to peel this off, it'll peel off real clean, because you've already done the prep work by putting Vaseline. It'll keep it from sticking to the rubber on the tires. Again, we just want to put a liberal amount. We're going to put 2 or 3 coats of this. We've already done about 4 or 5 coats of the black. And again, we're going to put 2 or 3 coats of the glossifier on there to make sure that it gets a little shine to it. All right, family. We've got the rims taken care of. Just want to show you real quick. So that's 5 or 6 coats, I can't exactly remember, of black Plastidip, and then 2 coats of the plastic gloss. I think it's going to turn out pretty awesome. I think it did turn out pretty awesome. Stay tuned, because we're going to be changing a few things, taking off the rails, different things on the truck. We'll talk to you soon.